path from survival to significance isn't easy, but it also isn't a mystery. The freedom, fulfillment, and financial outcomes you hoped for from your real estate career are within reach. You just have to follow the path that leads there. Okay. Let's talk cash flow. That doesn't sound very exciting, but I think this is a pretty important, big topic that we need to talk through.
When you have it.
Right? Exactly. When you have money. But yeah, I want to know why this particular framework is so important to the understanding of the survival to significance journey, but in particular with money, right? Like, why is this cash flow so important to that?
I'm thinking about it like a central nervous system, or it's like the digestive system.
Okay.
I mean, I just made that up.
Okay.
It could be
Keep going. I like this metaphor. Let's go with it.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like there's income coming in.
Okay.
And if stuff's not flowing correctly,
okay,
you're going to have problems.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we just start with really, really bad habits. And it makes sense that we start the way we start because we're jumping in from a W-2 world or
yes,
not
I was specifically
earning.
thinking of that, yeah.
So we're programmed a certain way and the world works a certain way and we get paychecks every 2 weeks and we get bills every month. And so we naturally step into a world. We've already got a bank account. We've already got bills.
Yep.
And we just think that what we need to do with that is overlay this new commission world that we're in into that system. But that system doesn't function, doesn't work for how this new crazy entrepreneurial world that we've stepped into is going to have to function. And so I think what we've learned is early on, if we can create the infrastructure, the channel, the digestive tract.
I love this, okay.
For stuff to flow correctly, it builds properly.
Yeah.
And it can really build pretty organically, and you need to have the right
structure?
Structure is the infrastructure is what I'm picturing water flow now. And so like you can build it to direct the flow of water, but then what it does is it pools in the right areas as well.
It's directed correctly where you want it to go over time. Yeah. As you
and the health of your business is only going to be as good as, and you'll learn this as you grow any business. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how brilliant your business is. Cash is king. And even the best of businesses in history have dried up at different times simply because of a cash flow problem.
Yeah.
And we've got bigger goals. We want to have a goose that lays eggs that we can use to go invest and create a future financially for ourselves and build something beautiful. It all starts with creating a proper flow of how the money moves through the system so that what's great about systems and structure is when you build them right, they create internal accountabilities for you as well.
Definitely.
So instead of having discipline, build a good structure and it'll impute discipline into your protocols.
Yeah, I love it. It is really about the system, right? And it's understanding it. Because for me, the picture was just really revealing, that makes so much sense. But no one was telling you that. No one was showing you that.
I don't know that I've seen this anywhere in 20-something years of real estate.
Yeah, it's amazing how simple but brilliant and eye-opening it is, right? And I was imagining you just saying that we have bigger goals. And when I think about this flow that we're going to get to, like, I really love it's about sustainability and bulletproofness to me, right? Like that's the point of getting it going the right way. So, yeah. So basically you just described survival. The cash flow survival in the beginning is truly just, I keep operating the way that I knew how to when I was in a W-2 world. And I didn't really make any changes when I stepped into a 1099 world.
I have a house and I have bills and now I get commission checks. And they come to my bank account.
Yep.
And out of my bank account, I pay my bills. Yep. And normally my home bills are more than what I get from my bank account. So maybe there's a credit card involved. And so I'm swiping a credit card and money keeps coming in. And the whole goal is just to get more and more revenue.
Yep.
Which is true. But that's a really, really broken way to set up the system.
Yeah.
And that's where most people, frankly, are, even when they're doing $5 or $10 million of production. If they're not coached correctly, they still think the flow is, I am a realtor, I make revenue. The revenue comes to my bank account, out of which I pay both my home expenses and my business expenses.
Yes.
Which is just bad. It's a bad system. It's a bad infrastructure.
Yeah. And it really is that commingling. That is the big part there that you start to see the importance of that separation, right? Like as you go.
I think of that in it's a trust account word. You can't commingle your funds, but that's a really, really good way to think about it. We don't get to mix our personal funds with trust account funds because it's a really, really bad idea.
It's not a good idea. Yes.
So they made it illegal.
Yeah, so don't do that.
We should make it illegal for your commission
Yes.
checks to flow directly into your personal bank account.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as quickly as humanly possible. I don't even care if you don't really have a steady income yet. As quick as humanly possible, I want you to get to this idea of stability cash flow, because it's really about the importance of that separation.
Well, you don't need to do anything to get there. You just need to decide to go set up the bank accounts correctly.
That's exactly right.
It's very accessible.
And I like I like your water flow metaphor, actually. I'm going to use that a little
Better
bit here.
than the digestive tract?
Maybe. I feel like there's more options that we can play with in the water flow, but it is directing it where it needs to go first, right? Like, so it's directing it first to a separate, now I'm going to have a business bank account. So it's that choice first, and then you can do other things with it from there. So it's like it needs to come in one and then go to personal, or then do other things. And I'm imagining these little pools of water now that you're describing it that way.
We'll redraw the picture.
Redraw the picture with pools of water. So yeah, the biggest things that change in stability is number one, separation. What are the other things that really start to happen to get to a structure of flowing being consistent and the way it needs to be?
Yeah, I mean, let's define the separation first.
Yeah.
So we earn commission checks and they go to a business bank account.
Yep.
And out of the business bank account, we pay business expenses.
Yes.
Now, aside from this, we are hoping that we're getting to a place we're starting to track our P&L and all that, so we actually understand how that money's working, but at least it's tracked correctly. At least there's a business credit card or debit card. There's a business bank account, which means everything that's business is at least in one pocket.
Yes.
So it's easy to create finances out of this, or at least look at what's
right.
really
Your statements are then completely separate. You're not mixing anything else in it.
I can still look at it and see at a basic level, even if I'm not fancy enough to have a profit and loss statement, I can at least see the flow of money. Inside that space at that point, then presumably we're still at a place where all of our home expenses might be more than what we're even earning in our business.
Yes.
And so, it doesn't mean that it sits in that bank account very long. It just means that there's the initial business bills are being paid from that. So there's accountability and tracking. And then immediately that money's probably going to flow to your personal account so you can go pay all the bills. Let's be honest. Especially the first 2 to 3 years. It's not like your business is profitable.
Absolutely not.
And so, from there, I think we would suggest, I'd call it basic Ramsey principles. I'd say from there, we really need to establish some sort of basic home reserve account.
Yep.
He recommends starting with $1,000,
emergency
just
fund.
something.
Yep.
Because remember, our goal is to build a machine that at some point this thing gets off the ground. And the minute something goes wrong at home and we don't have enough money there, because then we put in a credit card, now we snowball in the wrong direction.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's the steps. I don't have the map in front of me, but one, separate business expenses come out, overflow to your personal account from there, home expenses, and begin to build a basic reserve account.
Yeah, absolutely. And this to me is more about getting the flow correct and then getting your home in order so that you can start doing the next things when you get a little fancier with where the money's going to flow.
So
from
a
there.
home budget and getting control of that. Like we taught that as the first step in wealth building. Step one, get your home in order. Whether you have a budget or not, until you understand your home expenses and get control of that, you probably are signed up for more streaming TV services.
Get rid of the stuff you don't need. Yeah, well, you got to be able to see what you got.
If you're willing to play the long term and you actually want to win the game, step one is control the holes in the bucket. And most of us have too many holes in the bucket.
The next biggest, most important part for me in this stability space is of that when your commission checks come in, they're flowing into your business account, paying your business expenses, we have to start making a plan for taxes too. So I highly recommend another account. Honestly, like I do start seeing the pockets of water flow here. I'd recommend another account that you can automatically start putting aside some of your money because you have to pay taxes, guys. You're not used to doing that in a W-2 world. It's already kind of figured out for you, right? So the taxes have to start being accounted for in the stability section as well.
Turns out I do need the map in front of me.
Right? It's super helpful. It's nice.
Well, I'm glad we drew it. 100%. And I think the guidance there is not to overthink this.
Yeah.
So it helps to know where we're going, right? We're going to a place where we have a profitable business separated. We have reserves at home and for the business, and our taxes are being paid on a quarterly basis, partly out of our W-2 withholdings and partly out of savings that we have intentionally for quarterly installments to taxes. But until we get there on this step, this is not that complicated. Simply, out of every commission check, have a separate savings account that's independent from your business account and independent from your home account.
Yes.
And I'd call it a business savings account.
Yep, exactly.
And because your business, I mean, you're paying taxes technically, but your business is the thing that should reserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And, our guidance there is somewhere between 20 and 25% of every dollar that comes in should be reserved. Now, if you're doing this right in the first couple of years, you won't even need that much. But I can guarantee you, if you're selling houses,
not planning for it,
what's going to happen is you're going to sell houses for a year. You're not going to reserve taxes. I don't think you need to make quarterly installments in that first year. I think you just need to save 20% of every dollar that comes in. And then when that tax bill comes due April 15th, you will be infinitely ahead of 99.9% of every realtor that's ever existed, because all of the rest of them in their first year get hit with a 20% bill.
Yep.
And it sets you back. And then you go, okay, well, this is okay. It's summer. And then you earn it back, but you've just started on the wrong foot. So 100%, separate the accounts, save for taxes, create a reserve account at home.
And honestly, for me, better out of sight, out of mind, we can help you do that, right? Like, so if that's like, you're not going to be diligent enough to do that yourself, we can help you do that when you get paid. Like,
meaning our accounting team?
Yes.
I think that's crazy.
Super smart, though.
Well, it's super wonderful. I feel like I can't believe we actually do that.
We can do that.
So our accounting team is able to segment commission checks for our agents.
Yes.
It's a service we provide.
Two different accounts.
I'm acting like I didn't know this, but I forget about this. And I think it's super cool.
It's one of my favorite things to tell people about and recommend. Hold yourself accountable a little bit more. Moving from stability to success, like what are the biggest changes? And I honestly, this is a big, huge gap. Like, get to stability as soon as you can, just to start the flow correctly. And then this success and significant stages are big. Like, this can take a very long time in my head to get from that stability to success phase. So what are the biggest components of that success cash flow additionally?
Well, remind me of the ones that I miss. But we're now having commission checks come in. They're flowing to our business account, and we're paying our business expenses. We're saving 20% for taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a couple more recommendations on the business side. It's really, really helpful to look at the picture when thinking this through.
Yes.
One is consider a reinvestment account of 10%. You can just keep that in your savings account and earmark it. But it's really, what I've learned is separate accounts for everything.
Really the best way to do it.
Yes. You can open as many accounts as you want at your bank. Separating those really creates internal accountability. Again, the flow of water, right?
Yep.
And I think the guidance on that is 10% of revenue going into it. And the reason for this is, if you're building a business, invariably every year as you increase your revenue, there's going to be more things that you want to grow. What this creates is, it's not a slush fund, but it's an investment fund into things that, for example, we'll reserve some of that sometimes to say, hey, we'd like to create a new position next year. We'd like to expand the number of staff members we've got.
Yes.
But before we just do that and hope we're going to have the revenue for it, what we do is reserve 1 year's worth of that salary and go, okay, or 6 months even, and go, we're willing to make this investment to try this position out and see if we can make this work. And
so I feel like it's like an opportunity fund. I like the word opportunity for this, right? So you have this other space, this other account that allows you to see and go after good opportunities for your business. So And
then the other thing is beginning to create a business reserve account.
Mm-hmm.
Now this gets interesting because, real estate agent businesses typically don't have significant amounts of expenditure, right? You have your MLS fees and your licensing fees, stuff like that.
Stuff you need to be a realtor.
Maybe you have some photography and all those sorts of things. Those are great. So our operating budgets tend not to be that big until later, where we start to pay ourselves a W-2 salary. Maybe we have an assistant, etc. Those all need to be accounted for. And any healthy business should get to 1 to 3 months of operating account reserves. So I know that our monthly budget as an organization is X, and so we're typically always, our operating account has at least X in it at any given point, so we're making sure we can pay the bills, but we've created a separate reserve account. And so the money flows into our operating account, and then it overflows, once that at a certain benchmark, into a reserve account. And what our goal would be as an agent is to get to, in success, 1 month of operating expenses reserve account. And the reasons that's there is because there's going to be ebbs and flows in your business. And what you never want to have to do is cut off your capacity to pay your bills on any given month, including your own salary.
Business expenses, salary, your personal,
Because in success is when we start paying ourselves a W-2.
Yes.
And so, one is conservative, but we're entrepreneurs and we don't want to have large amounts of cash tied up in anything. And so we recommend 1 month there. And what this is going to provide for you is we're working to create more reserves at home.
Yep.
So that if something goes wrong at home, it doesn't steal from our business. And now we're trying to create a buffer in our business. So if we have an ebb and flow there, it doesn't screw up our home budget.
Exactly.
So that's two major steps on this. And then, we recommend at this point that what we're starting to do south of the line, meaning as the money flows to our personal account, is start to grow an actual reserve account at home. And again, Ramsey's going to recommend anywhere from 3 to 6 months. We're saying at Success, if you can get 1 to 3 months of your home budget
covered,
saved,
no matter what.
And guys, don't try to do this all in one bite. Like, just set a certain amount of money every month aside. Do it first. Like all saving, make that the first item on the budget.
Out. Yep.
And you'll find it's amazing how you can make it work. 1 to 3 months provides, I wouldn't call it bulletproof, but it's a significant amount of stability. And all of this is about not finding yourself in a situation where you're going to disrupt the flow of the machine you're trying to build.
Exactly. Or get behind or create more debt or anything like that. This is like this is the proper flow to get you to a place of stability. And
all cars break down.
Yes.
And all people eventually
unexpected life events, something.
And all houses flood. And at some point you're going to have an unexpected expense. And the joke is that we call it unexpected. So expect the unexpected
with money, yes.
And what that's going to do is create a path for your business and your home life and your investments to not be interrupted along the way. That's the next step here. Is at this point we start to make sure that at the home level, and this is what's so key, is I think that there's been confusion on this. The line between business
and home.
The business is the goose. It pays the expenses to raise and nurture the goose. And then it has a reserve account for itself, and it needs to account for its taxes.
Yep.
Then we, as an individual, have a life and a budget and dreams and vacations. And
unexpected home expenses.
And we have investment intentions for ourselves.
Yes.
The separation between those two things is key, because I always believe that the goose can die. I want to make sure it doesn't. We had that conversation a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it always could. And so I must understand that my investments that I'm making are not my business investing for me.
Then you're personal. It's you.
I own shares in Apple, but I don't expect Apple to be saving for me. So if I earn dividends from Apple, it's no different than you earning revenue from your real estate company. That then goes to you. And the reason this matters is I've dealt with a lot of our top agents that actually have their money flow structured relatively well, but they're sitting on significant amounts of quote unquote investment money sitting in their goose, in their company.
In the business,
And if you want some money to reinvest back in the business, we've accounted for that.
Yes.
That's north of the line. But then the money should flow out of the business.
Yes.
You do not want your cash sitting, just circulating inside your business. It must come out. But the only way to do that is to know what you need at home, know what you need in your business, and then once you meet those thresholds in the business, you've got your operating account met, you've got your reserve account met, you've got your tax account met.
Done, yep.
Once those waterfall thresholds are met, excess revenue should flow out of the business. And it should flow into your personal accounts, at which point, once your reserve accounts are met, you now have excess.
Yeah.
Out of that excess, you can go buy a van. Out of
Yes.
that excess, you can go invest in what you want to invest in. Probably not in that order.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is that investment part really where it starts to take shape. And I love this. Yeah, on the picture, it is south of the line. It's out of the personal that you're starting to think about investing in retirement, investing in the long-term wealth building game of like where you're going to put your money. But yes, I love that it is the end of the flow after everything in the business, after everything home reserves. Then this is like the next thing.
It doesn't mean it's the last thing you do.
No.
It just means it is the end of the flow.
End of the flow.
And you might be perhaps you're not making any money in your business, but you've been contributing to whatever, an IRA or a Roth or something. Don't stop. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're just saying restructure how the money gets to there. You can actually have money flowing out completely out of order, so long as it's going through the correct channel to get there.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel like this gap between stability and success can seem big, but just one bite at a time, right? Like just start setting up the structure correctly and it will set you up for success. Moving on to significance. There's a few additions here, but really to me, significance starts with really becoming more bulletproof. You're like, this is not bulletproof yet in the success. This, to me, when I look at this, with the amount of that we're going to suggest that you start having in reserves, that you've already got those accounts set up, really does make you more bulletproof. And then there's a few additions in this space as well. What are your thoughts on significance?
Well, first of all, I noticed that it says saving 20% for taxes. We should change that because it's actually at this point, you're paying quarterly installments.
Quarterly installments. Mm-hmm.
That's an imperative. I know we teach it that way. This graphic just doesn't explain it that way. We're suggesting 3 months of business reserves. I would tell you that is quite significant. Now, it just depends on who you are.
Depends on your business model.
Our business having 3 months reserves is a lot of cash that probably we wouldn't want to tie up that way because we have liquidity in other places. But if you're an agent and it's just your W-2, maybe an assistant, etc., having 3 months reserves is not the best use of cash, but it's a marvelous place to be as you come into up and down markets or even winter cycles.
That's what I think of. Yeah, for sure.
So that's bulletproof.
Yes.
Same thing at home, following Ramsey's structure, south of the line, 3 to 6 months of reserves. And then really, I know that before this, our investments are starting to move more and more towards real estate investments, probably in survival. Many of us bought our first home.
House.
Some of us in stability. We've already got a rental. That's totally cool. I'm not saying it has to be a regimented order of events, but this is the space where if you've built a business that flows correctly, if you've got a goose, that's laying golden eggs, if you've structured your business where you have reserves, you've probably stabilized your revenue flow. You know your expenses. If your home budget's in line, you've got some buffer, you've got some savings and investments, your taxes are covered. This is the beautiful space where excess now gets to be applied to, profit.
Yeah.
This is the profit phase, which can feed our pleasures, our passions, and our purpose. Which I love that little framework, and we need to teach on that more.
Yep.
I'll just do it now super quick. Profit is the goal, but it's really not. Profit is always a means to an end. I want to be profitable. I want to have a profitable company, but why? And the answer is so I can go do the things I love, passion, so I can, do the things I love, pleasure. Passion, both of them are things I love.
Yeah.
But passion is the things that matter to me.
Yes.
That I want to go, family. Spending time with my boys and my wife. I'm at a chapter where the boys are like almost gone.
Yeah.
So my intentionality is even higher on like, okay, I've only got a couple more years. And then I got 40 more years with Jen in the pan. And then purpose is the capacity to go make an impact. And again, I'll say it doesn't mean you need to wait till you're in significance to go do things that matter, but I do think that's the beautiful end game that arises when you reach significance. So, but it doesn't happen until you create organized structure
and flow.
And I think that's the number one thing we're saying here today is you don't have to be a genius if you set things up correctly. Structure creates accountability. So you either have to rest on like your willpower and your discipline, or you create a system that eliminates the need for discipline or willpower to be the driving force because the money flows through the right channel.
Yeah. My main takeaway always is just like start earlier than you think and understand where you're actually trying to go, because I think that is what's going to help you actually get to the structure that you need, is by knowing where you're trying to go at the end of the day. So I think that's do it right. Do it early on, earlier than you think, right? That's my big takeaway on this cash flow.
And then time kind of takes care of itself.
Right.
Go build a great business, and you wake up one day 15 years later and you go, wait, how did I get here? So that sounds crazy, but I think it's true.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking through this.